Welcome to another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins and hidden treasures that might be sitting in your pocket right now. Today we are going to explore one of the most talked about and mysterious coins in American numismatic history, the 1973 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. This little copper coin, minted in Denver during a time of economic shifts and cultural change, has become the subject of intrigue and speculation because of its scarcity in certain varieties and because of how high its market value has climbed in today's collector's market, with some unique examples reportedly valued as high as $542 million. To understand why this coin is so special, we first need to take a step back and look at the broader history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it became the first American coin to feature the image of a real historical figure rather than a symbolic representation of liberty. On the obverse, or the front side of the coin, we see the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the words "In God We Trust" placed along the upper rim, liberty appearing on the left side, and the year of issue along with the mint mark appearing below Lincoln's shoulder. On the reverse side of the 1973 penny, we find the design that was in use from 1959 until 2008. This design replaced the wheat ears that appeared on the back of pennies from 1909 through 1958. In 1959, to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and the 50th anniversary of the Lincoln cent, the Mint introduced the Lincoln Memorial design created by Frank Gasparo. This reverse design features the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., with the words "United States of America" at the top, "E Pluribus Unum" above the memorial, and 1 cent at the bottom. If you look closely at the memorial design under magnification, you can even see a tiny representation of the statue of Lincoln seated in the center of the memorial, which was a unique artistic detail. Now let us zoom in on the year 1973 itself. The United States was going through a turbulent era with rising inflation, global oil crises, and changes in monetary policy. The Mint was producing billions of coins to keep up with circulation demands. In 1973, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents, bearing the D Mint mark just below the date on the obverse. Most of these coins were struck in the standard copper alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This was before the big metal composition change in 1982, when pennies shifted from copper to a mostly zinc core with a thin copper plating. So the 1973 D penny has a nice heavy copper feel that collectors still admire today. So you might be asking, what makes this 1973 D penny so incredibly valuable? After all, with hundreds of millions struck, why would one be worth more than a luxury mansion or even a fleet of cars? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and unique minting errors. Most 1973 D pennies are common and circulate for just 1 cent. But a very small number of them were struck with errors or preserved in pristine condition, making them worth a fortune to collectors who chase the rarest varieties. One of the most famous varieties linked to the 1973 D penny is the double die obverse, where the lettering and numbers appear doubled due to a slight misalignment in the hubbing process at the mint. These double dies can make even an ordinary-looking penny suddenly skyrocket in value. Imagine spotting doubling on the date, or on the word liberty, or even on the motto "In God We Trust." Collectors go wild for this sort of variety. Another potential rarity involves off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or even transitional errors, though these are far rarer. The key to value, however, is condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect mint state coin free from any marks or wear. A 1973 D penny that is circulated and worn down may only be worth a few cents. But if you discover a 1973 D penny in near perfect condition, graded MS-67 or higher by professional grading services, then its value can leap into thousands, or even millions of dollars. It is these ultra-high grade examples combined with rare varieties that fuel the staggering values we sometimes hear about. Collectors and investors in rare coins know that supply and demand drive the market. While billions of 1973 D pennies exist, only a handful are known in gem mint condition with sharp strikes, brilliant luster, and zero contact marks. These coins become trophies for high-end collectors who are willing to pay record-breaking amounts at auction. Reports have surfaced of examples reaching valuations that seem unbelievable, with numbers like $542 million being attached to the rarest known 1973 D penny in certain circles. Whether or not all of these claims hold up under scrutiny, the truth is that a perfect example of this coin could indeed command a life-changing sum. So what should you be looking for if you happen to stumble upon a 1973 D penny in your loose change or old coin jar? First, examine the coin under good lighting and magnification. Check the obverse for any doubling in the date or lettering. Look closely at the mint mark to see if there are signs of repunching where the D appears stamped more than once. Examine the reverse for any striking abnormalities. Then consider the overall condition of the coin. Does it have its original red luster from the day it was struck, or has it toned to a brown finish? Even a slight difference in shade can impact value because collectors prefer the bright red copper color. Another factor to consider is whether the coin has been certified by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Certified coins with high grades are easier to sell at auctions and often bring much higher prices because buyers trust the grading standards. For instance, a 1973 D penny graded MS67 red by PCGS could sell for tens of thousands of dollars. Higher grades are so rare that they become legendary in the coin world. Let us now walk through a fascinating journey of how coins like these move through the market. A coin might be discovered in a roll of bank-wrapped pennies by a lucky hobbyist. That collector sends it off for grading. It comes back with an unexpectedly high grade. News spreads in collector communities. Soon auction houses compete to feature the coin in their catalogs. Wealthy collectors from around the world bid aggressively, driving the final price to astronomical levels. Suddenly, a penny that once had the smallest face value in American money becomes a global headline for its record-breaking worth. It is also important to remember the cultural significance of these coins. They are not just tiny discs of metal. They are artifacts of American history. The 1973 D penny reflects the artistry of Victor David Brenner and Frank Gasparo, the heritage of Abraham Lincoln, and the economic story of America in the 1970s. When collectors pay millions for such coins, they are not only buying a piece of copper. They are buying a tangible link to history. For everyday people, the thought that a single penny could be worth hundreds of millions is both exciting and unbelievable. It creates a sense of treasure hunting in ordinary life. Families often search through jars of old pennies or inherit collections from relatives, hoping to stumble upon a hidden fortune. Stories circulate of ordinary citizens finding coins worth life-changing amounts, which inspires new generations to take up coin collecting. Now let us touch on the reported current market value. While it is true that most 1973 D pennies are worth only face value, certain rare and perfect specimens have been reported with valuations soaring to hundreds of thousands, or even millions. Some exaggerated claims put the value as high as $542 million for the absolute finest known example. Even if one disputes this figure, the undeniable truth is that high-grade 1973 D pennies can fetch enormous sums compared to their humble 1-cent denomination. So, in summary, the 1973 D mint mark Lincoln penny is a remarkable coin. Born from a long tradition of honoring President Lincoln, it was struck in Denver in a year of great social and economic change. Though billions were produced, only a select few survive in pristine condition or with rare minting varieties. These chosen coins capture the imagination of collectors and can sell for staggering sums at auction, with claims of values up to $542 million. As we wrap up this deep dive, remember this: never underestimate the power of small things. That 1-cent coin in your pocket might not just be loose change. It could be a key to history and a potential fortune. So keep your eyes open, check your coins carefully, and who knows, maybe you will be the next person to uncover a 1973 D penny that turns out to be a once-in-a-lifetime discovery worth more than anyone could ever imagine. Thank you for joining me on this fascinating journey into the story of the 1973 D mint mark Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more content about rare coins and hidden treasures. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and never lose hope, because the next great discovery could be just one coin away.